In today's Boruto Two Blue Vortex video, I show you what Boruto is hiding under his glove and explain why. Ever since the time skip happened, I have seen some Boruto fans wondering why exactly Boruto doesn't have any Otsutsuki abilities, especially the ones he must have received from Momoshiki. I mean, look at Kawaki, he inherited everything and isn't even using the real karma. So Boruto should at least show a single Otsutsuki ability, and yet he doesn't. On the other hand, Kawaki flies around, makes things disappear, and all that, and that's actually the point. Boruto, while being a full Otsutsuki, is refusing to be an Otsutsuki and values the way of a true shinobi, that is, a human, while Kawaki, who truly despises all Otsutsukis, becomes more and more like one of them. I mean, he's literally useless without his karma. Amado has pretty much confirmed this. We have seen how he even refused all sorts of shinobi training, completely relying on Ishiki's DNA, and all the other modifications Amado did to his body, while at the same time, he's claiming to destroy everyone who's just like him. It's extremely hypocritical, but it is what it is. And so it's not like Boruto can't do the same thing as Kawaki, but he simply refuses. To understand whether Boruto manifested Momoshiki's powers despite only having 82% of his DNA, we must take a look at his time skip design. And here we can immediately see that first of all, he's keeping his eye closed the entire time, despite the fact that this wound has already healed. And furthermore, he's also wearing a glove on just one hand. Like, come on, that's some edgy stuff if it has no purpose. Just Boruto trying to be cool? He's better than that, so it has a reason. To me, it looks like because Boruto lost one of his blue eyes, instead Momoshiki's Byakugan has manifested permanently, which he refuses to use because he is a human shinobi, not an Otsutsuki, even though technically he is one. So what does he do? He keeps his eye closed, simple as that. And the same logic can be applied to his glove. Why is he wearing it only on one side? Because the other side still has his karma, and the other logically must be different. So just like he's keeping one eye closed to hide Momoshiki's Byakugan, he's possibly hiding his Rinnegan on the palm of his hand. He's completely refusing to essentially become Momoshiki or use his powers. Of course, with time he will slowly start gaining full control over Momoshiki, and who knows, maybe something about his attitude towards these powers will change as well. All that is needed is a strong opponent, as we have seen in the first scene of Boruto, where Boruto was actually forced to open his eye, but instead of a Byakugan, he revealed the Jogan, which is also an Otsutsuki ability but one from the God Dimension. Long story short, the point is that Boruto's character design hints at the fact that he indeed has full control over the Otsutsuki powers, just like Kawaki, but with the difference that he is hiding them on purpose. Obviously that won't work forever, but it's definitely typical for the Naruto series, just like Naruto tried not to use Kurama's power, or Sasuke not trying to use the cursed mark. So does Boruto refuse to use Momoshiki's power. Eventually this will change, so let's take a look at what abilities Boruto will gain from Momoshiki, or rather, which abilities he already gained, but refuses to use. First of all, one of the best abilities Momoshiki has is Absorption, using the Rinnegan. Not only can Momoshiki absorb all attacks and also certain phenomena, but he can also reuse those techniques without hand signs. Essentially, it looks like Momoshiki takes the ninjutsu, which shinobi create through hand signs and chakra manipulation, and transforms it into shinjutsu, because all ninjutsu is derived from shinjutsu. That is, Momoshiki is not just storing the power and releasing it with the same amount of force, but he actually controls the essence of the power, changes it, increases the force, combines it with other things, and improves it, and simply controls it like a god, which is what shinjutsu is, powers of gods. So it makes sense that Momoshiki has an ability that allows him to store phenomena and manipulate them like a god, and so Boruto can do that as well. For example, Boruto could theoretically absorb the 10 tails and then use Shibai's ability, you know, the teleportation one that Amado implanted into Code, which he then implanted into the 10 tails. That would grant Boruto temporary control over that power, just like, for example, Momoshiki was able to absorb Kinshiki and then use the red rods. But Boruto could also, for example, absorb simple fire and turn it into lava. I think you get the idea, it's all about shinjutsu. Furthermore, Momoshiki had shown a few other unique abilities, such as the ability to absorb things and turn them into mini chakra pills that are pretty much like chakra fruits, just much smaller. So instead of reusing the technique, he can simply extract its pure chakra and use it for something else. In essence, his Rinnegan has the ability to be like a god tree itself, which can become very handy and allows Momoshiki to quite literally never run out of chakra ever. And then of course, the Rinnegan itself has the typical Rinnegan abilities, such as space-time jutsu and so on and so forth. I don't think I have to explain to y'all what the standard Rinnegan abilities are. Almost every Otsutsuki can use it, and so can Boruto. Next is of course Momoshiki's Byakugan, and that's extremely powerful. In fact, it seems like Momoshiki has the strongest Byakugan we have seen in this series so far. It's like his Byakugan is comparable to the dojutsus of Ishiki and Shibai, not in regard to the power level but its uniqueness. It belongs only to Momoshiki, a unique shinjutsu. Just like with Momoshiki's Rinnegan, the Byakugan has special abilities on top of the normal Byakugan abilities. That is, Momoshiki can for example see all chakra paths, chakra points, different chakra sources, distinguish between different chakras, granting him telescopic vision, X-ray, and nearly 360-degree field of perception, and generally see all kinds of things that other people simply can't see. All this of course allows him to fight especially like the Hyuga clan with for example Gentle Fist and all those other techniques. But most importantly, Momoshiki has the very unique ability to read the fate of other people. This could also be another reason why Boruto might keep his eye closed, to not see the fate of other people. This is because we still don't know whether Momoshiki's ability actually sees the future, or is the reason why the future he sees manifests in the world. The idea is not too far-fetched given the fact that Ada can literally change reality, and Momoshiki has also shown confusion towards Boruto's attitude after he lost everything. This wasn't what Momoshiki saw. Initially, Momoshiki saw him completely alone and desperate. He didn't see Sasuke helping him, he didn't see Ada and Demon supporting him, he didn't see Sarada being immune, and especially he didn't see Boruto being so motivated. So there's something about Momoshiki's ability that doesn't quite work. So it's not fate. But then what is it? The question is, how does this ability actually work, and does it manipulate reality rather than seeing the future? Maybe what he sees actually determines what might happen, or at least the direction. So if Boruto doesn't use the ability, the future is open for all possibilities, so to speak, but once he sees the future, it is more or less set in stone. Maybe that's why Boruto refuses to open his eye. And there are many other small things that Boruto should be able to do now, such as creating black rods or control his hair, which by the way Kaguya also did. On top of that, Momoshiki has shown the ability to copy every jutsu he comes in contact with, which is pretty similar to Kakashi's Sharingan ability back in the days. But in Momoshiki's case, as mentioned earlier, he simply repeats the ninjutsu in the form of shinjutsu in a much more powerful and advanced manner, even multiple ninjutsus at the same time. By the way, this ability probably also comes from the Rinnegan. The same goes for his perfect nature transformation, with which he can create, for example, gigantic elemental creatures. You see, Boruto is literally a god, literally an Otsutsuki, and yet he's not using anything other than ninjutsu and can still easily defeat Code, who is believed to be even stronger than Ishiki without those limiters. Well, at least the weakened Ishiki, to be fair, because he was far from his true potential. But now comes the key point. No matter how much Boruto tries to avoid those abilities, he will eventually be forced to use them. For example, since Boruto probably uses reverse summoning to get to the Otsutsuki Dimension, he won't be able to return unless he left another toad behind, which as far as we know, he didn't. So this means that he is confident to have other means to return, and there are only 3 possibilities, all of which require shinjutsu. Either the Jogen or the Rinnegan, while the Rinnegan could be used to either directly create a portal, which I believe Momoshiki has proven to be able to do, or Boruto absorbs either Code or the 10 Tails to temporarily gain Shibai's teleportation ability, as Code has placed those marks all around Konoha. So the chance that we finally see Boruto using shinjutsu, especially the ones I mentioned, is very high in the next chapter. So what do you think of this theory? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more Boruto content, especially Boruto Two Blue Vortex Chapter 4 spoilers and leaks, then subscribe to this channel with the notification bell activated. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye!